Hello, you guys. This is Sharzad Morgan here, and we're going to talk about why so many women do not like sex and how you can make her want it more. I'm going to be using clips from Dr. Robert Glover's talk that I found on Integrity Nation. He's a man that works with men. He was married to two women before his third wife. Now he's a reformed people pleaser, and he's the author of No More Mr. Nice Guy and some other books. And I think that he has really good advice for men. And as a woman, I can tell you, he's 67 years old. He's very masculine and very sexy. Now, I'm not personally interested in him. He's married, but I'm just saying I find him very sexy, very attractive, very hot. He understands women. He understands how men can get more sex. And he shows men how they can get more sex and stop pretending that you don't want it. Okay, now in this first clip I'm going to play for you. By the way, he's very in good shape for 67. He's got a flat stomach, good upper body strength. So don't give me any fucking excuses, guys. If you just do a little bit of fitness, develop some upper body strength, have some strong abs, don't have a big gut, you will get women too. He talks about how after he got divorced in his 40s, he just started having all this sex with all these women. And I think he probably, I don't know what he looked like then, but he probably had worked on his fitness somewhat. Any man can get women attracted to him if he's just fit and wears some decent clothes. When you watch the clip, men, I want you to pay attention to how he moves and his clothes and his fitness. It's not about your height. It's not about your money. You can just present yourself well. Women will flock to you. But let's learn from him. In this first clip that I'm going to play, he talks about what women's sexual experiences are typically like. And then he says, no wonder they don't come knocking down our doors. Now let's see what he has to say. Pay attention to the 3 examples he gives of women's typical sexual experiences. And then I'll be back on the other side.
But most women, if you talk to them, their peak experience is just being poked by a guy that stuck it in, pumped a few times, ejaculated, and says, "Is that good for you?" Or being molested, violated as a child. That's their experience. Or nice guy seduction. Here's my old style of sex. And I did this for several years with my second wife, right? She announced on her honeymoon, "Aren't you glad that now that we're married, we don't have to pretend to like sex anymore?" Wait a minute, I wasn't pretending. But I was a nice guy. Oh, I can fix this. So my way of initiating sex, kind of get up behind her, sneak it up on her, kind of start rubbing her back, rubbing her neck, nothing too aggressive. Slide my hand down her side a little bit. She hasn't reacted yet. Slide it around, get the side of her breast a little bit. All right, she hasn't rolled over, given a negative reaction. All right, slide up under her breast. Now maybe get a little bit of a nipple. And then maybe if she hasn't, said no or stop or rolled over and gone to sleep, maybe I'll go down on her. Maybe, kind of go down on her a little bit and then come up and, twist a nipple or two and then stick it in and come. And every time you touch the back of her back, she's going, "Fuck, here it comes again." That's women's experience of sex. And you wonder why they're not lining up and beating our door down? Now, one more. Yesterday, Victor told a nice story about me that I'd shared with him about 15 minutes before he came up on stage. How many people heard Victor's 7 things that men are afraid of with women? You guys heard his talk yesterday? Okay. There's one that he didn't have. Now, when I said it, he said, "Well, that's female emotion." Now, number 8. Men are fucking afraid of female sexuality. When we truly experience the power, the cosmos moving, the earth shaking, the hurricane, the tornado, the earthquake, the volcano, power of female sexuality, most men go running out of the house with their hair on fire screaming. It terrifies us. Males tend to be terrified of female sexuality, primarily for two reasons. Is that we don't want to be consumed and we don't want to be found inadequate. Now guess what? We're never going to be able to perform like the sexual Ferrari. So we just think, oh, I just won't go there. I don't want to feel inadequate. So that's another reason that women aren't beating our door down. They know it fucking scares us if they come on too strong. They got to be subtle. Okay. Let's talk about how to drive a sexual Ferrari.
Oh my gosh, you totally nailed it. The quickie. I was married to a quickie guy. Oh, they're horrible. I'm just going to pump a few times and I'm going to come and roll over. No. Molesting, I was never sexually molested, but that would make a woman not want sex at all. And for some women, never. They will never want sex again after they've been molested. They can be helped with through some therapy. The nice guy seduction, I've only experienced that twice in my life, and it was so gross and repulsive that I just was like, just get the fuck away from me. It is so repulsive when a guy just kind of touches you, trying to see if you're not going to reject his advances. It's so gross. No. I don't want sex like a quickie. I don't want to be molested, and I do not want nice guy seduction. Did you get his example of what he used to do? And that was one guy that I was with one night. Oh my God, he was so into me, and he took me to dinner and everything, and then we laid in my bed and he did that thing. He just kind of tentatively touching my back, and I just got creeped out. He kept trying to touch me, and it wasn't like in a masculine way. It was the nice guy seduction. It was repulsive. No, I kicked him out. I never saw him again. Okay. Now, Dr. Glover, this is going to be a longer clip. It's almost 5 minutes long. And here he gives his 3 rules for great sex. I really recommend watching the whole video. I'm going to link it in the description. So let's listen to the 3 rules for great sex.
3 rules for great sex. Number 1, if you want to have great sex with a woman and drive a sexual Ferrari and make her happy, let's get that off the screen. Number 1, approach her as if she is the most adventurous, open-minded woman on the planet. Now, odds are she maybe is. Approach her as if she's the most open-minded, adventurous woman on the planet. If you're in a relationship, approach her as if she has liked everything you've ever done to her. All right, so we're going to assume she's going to like whatever we bring. Now, here's the reason for this. Most men, when it comes to sex, we're seeking women's approval. I mean, this began as little boys with mommy. We want mommy's approval. Most of us started hiding our sexuality because we thought mommy might disapprove of that. So we've learned to kind of hide our deepest sexual, perverted, dark energy, killer, sexual self. Because, oh, no, I don't want women. We hide it from ourselves. We don't even want to look at it. But that's what women crave. They crave that darkness, that strength, that killer, that mastery. They don't want us to kill them. They don't want us to hurt them. But they want to know that's in us. Right? So, what most guys do is we hold back. Oh, she might not like this. Or she might think I'm a perv. Or she might get mad. Or she may never have sex with me again. Or I may never hear the end of it. So we don't talk dirty. We don't tell them what's on our mind. We don't share our fantasy. We don't act on impulse. So rule number 1 is if you have the thought, if you have the impulse, act on it. Act on it. Don't hold it back. Don't pre-censor yourself. Don't pre-reject yourself. Give her the chance to reject it. Don't do it for her. Which brings us to rule number 2. It's her job, and tell her this, it's her job to tell you no. If there's anything she doesn't want, anything she doesn't want to do or doesn't want right now. All right? That's her job. She'll tell you no, don't do that. Don't touch me that way. No, I don't want to go there. If she's a mature woman, she'll take empowerment of her no. Trust her. Let her know you're counting on that, and let her know she can count on you not holding back, because you know she will tell you no. Now, one thing that you may find that a woman may tell you no 1 minute, and then a little bit later she goes, "How come you never do that anymore?" Anybody ever have anything like that? How come it's been so long since you did that? Well, you told me no. Well, I meant no then. All right? So, in general, no means no, not that right now. Maybe she's not warmed up enough. Maybe she's not in that mode. Maybe not in that mood. Maybe not this. But maybe in a few minutes later, she's waiting. Is she going to do it again? She's ready. Okay? Now, rule of thumb. If you do something and a woman says to you, "If you ever fucking do that again, I'll cut your fucking dick off," that's a good idea. Don't go back there, okay? That's pretty clear, okay? Just keep that in mind. Okay. Rule number 3. Don't take anything personally. Go back to rule number 1. This is powerful. Tell a woman this is how you're going to be with her. I'm going to approach you as if you're going to like everything I do. I'm not going to hold anything back. You're in charge. You can say no to anything you don't want. Rule number 3, I'm not going to pout like a little boy, withdraw, and try to make you my mommy and rescue me from my hurt feelings that oh, you didn't want me to do that. No, man up. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way towards men, but you know what? If you're looking at her cute little butthole and you're from behind, you think, that butthole's calling me. And you put a finger in her pussy and get it wet and slide it in the butthole, and she goes, "Oh, no, don't do that. All right, you haven't done anything wrong. You just got no. Wipe your finger off on the sheet, roll her over, and do whatever else comes up, right? Don't take it personally. Go back to rule number 1. Okay? 3 rules for a great life. Approach the world as if it's an abundant place that wants to say yes to you. Rule number 2, the world's going to tell you no from time to time. Rule number 3, don't take it personally. Go back to rule number 1. That work? Penetrate women, penetrate world. All right.
I love those 3 tips for great sex. Treat her as if she's the most open-minded, adventurous woman in the world. Trust her to be a mature woman who tells you no if she doesn't want something. And if she's very angry about something, don't ever try it again. But otherwise, go back to number 1 because she may like it next time. And I am going to take that to my own heart for when I'm with my sugar daddies, because sometimes I'm too nice or too cautious. Like, is it okay if I play with your ass? Because something I like to do. I'm not even going to ask anymore. I'm just going to tell them at the beginning, I'm going to assume that you're a very sexually adventurous man. And if there's something you don't like, I trust that you're a mature man who will tell me so. And I'm not going to take it personally. So that will be the introduction. And then I will just do what I want. Sit on his face, play with his ass. If he doesn't want it, he can tell me. So I got some tips out of that for myself. Ha! I'll be back for the comments.